Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video guys, I am going to be making some homemade simple childhood samosas. I woke up fancying to eat my samosas, like the ones I used to eat when I was growing up in the village. So to make my samosas, I have 1 cup of flour here and another one in the bowl. So I'm going to be using 2 cups of flour. So don't mind about the spillage guys. This is going to be used while rolling the dough. Okay, so I just put a little bit when I was measuring. So for the dough, I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of salt into the flour. After mixing the flour properly with salt, make a little well at the middle like you've seen, then add water. I'm adding cold water, just cold tap water, gently, bit by bit as I mix my dough. I want to make sure that I'm going to mix this dough for the samosas and it's going to be stiff but soft, not sticky, and smooth, so that it's going to make some lovely pastry. My pastry is done, but there was an issue guys, and I'm going to be honest, it was very stiff. Yes, you can see the bowl is clean. I have managed to really do a nice pastry, but it was so much on the stiff side. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to work it with my hands. And what I did for this video, I actually was just touching a little bit of water that is in the glass, and then I'll touch the dough and knead, because I had to bring it to a consistency that is not very stiff, neither is it sticky. So I had to work with this dough for some time. I took some time guys. Remember, it's my first time doing these samosas, and I also wanted to incorporate the style, the Indian style, where they do the folding method, like the pocket method, because I've never known how to do that, but I wanted to make it just like my childhood samosas. So I had to really put a lot of effort and sacrifice a little bit of my time today. It took almost a whole day making these samosas guys. You'll be surprised, but it was not easy, but I did manage to post something. I want to know in the comments below, do you think it was a fail or a pass at the end of the video? Please be kind enough to comment and let me know what you think about my samosas. Would you like to try my method? Though not an expert, but they were yum, because you will see how I'm going to be mixing the meat, for the inside of the samosas, and that was the bomb. That really was everything. Okay, so just keep on watching guys, and please comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video so that you can support me in my cooking. Thank you. Once your dough is fully worked guys, now you can test by pressing gently on the dough, and if it just springs back, then you know that it is smooth, it is stiff, but it is not sticky. As you can see guys, it is not sticking on the table, so this dough is ready to work on. I'm going now to cut the dough into 4 sections, and then I'm going to keep it to rest for 30 minutes. Maybe you can just go ahead and just put your dough that is well kneaded on the side for 30 minutes before you cut into sections. So what happened is I forgot this part, so I had to put it on the side for 30 minutes after cutting it into 4 sections. So just to be honest, that's what happened. I remembered that I was supposed to be keeping the dough to rest guys. Now that the dough is resting over, this instance I left it to rest for 1 hour because I had to prepare the minced beef. That was the beef, and I had to put it to rest because you cannot wrap it when it is hot. So I'm going to prepare now my spring onions, chop them into small pieces of spring onions, and 2 red onions, and 6 chilies. I want my samosas real hot, so I'm going to prepare this now, and then after I'm going to fry them and leave them to cool. after chopping the chilies, the onions and the spring onions, I'm now going to fry this meat. And if you've noticed, I did not put any oil on the pan because I do believe that the meat has its own oil. So I just want to make do with as little oil as possible because I will be deep frying these samosas, and I do not want to have too much oil on my samosas. I'm also trying to lose weight, so I'm just going to separate this beef. Just separate it, okay, and make sure that it is piece by piece because for the samosas we do not want any lumps. So I'm just going to make sure that on high heat I'm going to separate with the wooden spoon. I have already prepared my other ingredients, and I'm just going simply with green chilies, red onions and spring onions. And because I said I want just to bring out the childhood samosa taste. At this instant, guys, the cat was purring and meowing and really walking and stepping over my feet, going in between my legs, rubbing me with his tail because he could smell the beef. So he really wanted some meat. So I just put a little for the cat, and I'm going to just place it on the side to cool down because I'm going to give it a feast. Okay, so as we're eating the samosas, let the cat have some meat. Once the meat is separated and it is well cooked, as you can see in this instance, now the juices have dried in some oils from the beef, of course, are frying the beef. I'm now going to then add some chilies and some onions. So I'm going to put just half of the chilies. I'm not going to put all the chilies because I do not want to overcook my herbs. Okay, so I'm going just to put these chilies, the half of it, in with the beef. And after that I'm going to put the red onions, half of it as well. I'm not going to put the entire onions. So what I'm doing is I am first mixing half of the onions and half of the chilies with the beef, because now the beef is well fried with its own oil and it is well separated. And the next step then, now I'm going to be keeping the rest of the chilies so that I can now put them once the beef is cold. So guys, I really want to taste the chili, I want to taste the onion, and I want to taste the spring onions. But my cue, I did not put the spring onions because we do not want to overcook the spring onions. We want to feel the goodness, the taste of the spring onions in the meat, and we also want to taste the freshness of the red onions and the other chili. So I'm going to just cook a little bit. That's why I was showing you that I have remained the rest on this and put on the side there. So I'm going to mix now this cooked beef with some red onions and some chilies. Cook it nicely and not too much, and you can see what a lovely color. So the idea is we do not want this beef to be soggy for the samosas. That's why now it is dry fried and lovely, beautiful colors in there. Well, hello, who is there? So we have Oscar the cat, and Oscar has been walking over my feet, and so let's just feed him some beef. Oh, he is excited. He is one happy cat. So you can see he has his food in his bowl. So we're going to just add up the minced beef in there, and he's going to have a feast. Yes, so why not? Oh, he cannot even allow me to put the beef inside his bowl. He is all over the place. What a kitty. Anyway, he's a lovely cat, so yeah, let him have it. He's lovely. He's a gorgeous cat. I love him so much. He's a beautiful kitty. I think he's excited. He's happy. He was a rescue cat, so he was adopted. Okay. So now the beef is already cooked, and I just put it on the side after switching off the burner. So we're going to just allow it to cool down, and then I'll check over the dough so that we can begin to roll our samosas. And as you can see, I have the remaining spring onions, chilies, and red onions to add after when it is cold, because we want to experience, or rather taste, the crunchiness of those onions and spring onions and chilies. That's what makes the samosas lovely and yummy. Yes, I do not want to put any spices. I don't want to put anything else. Just those, simple, fresh herbs, and it makes all the difference. Now it's time to prep, the dough. So we're going to take the dough now. It has been resting, I think, for like 1 hour. So we're going to remember the 4 sections that I had divided. So we're going to divide them, cut them neatly if we can. I do not have a dough cutter, so I'm going to use this. I think this is also a dough cutter. Okay. I believe it is. So we're going to cut the 4 sections, and then we're going to be able to divide them and make them into little dough and make them into round rotis so that we can be able to work on them. After rolling them flat, and as you can see, round, I am going now to take this rounded rotis and I'm going to oil them. I'm going to be using my hands because it's more precise. So I'm going to oil, and I'll make sure that the oil is going to every part of the roti. And this procedure is very important so that they do not stick together. So I'm here oiling and making sure that my roti is oiled. Now check out the rest of the procedures, guys. As you saw, guys, I just oiled the rotis one by one, and I placed the other on top of the other. So there were 4 rotis, and after oiling them, then now I'm rolling them. First I press them with my fingers just to make them even, and so that they do not slide over each other. Now I am rolling gently, so I'm not like rolling hard, just gently, because I want to bring them into thin layers so they cannot stick together now because they have oils in between them. And remember, guys, that's why we say that the dough has to be stiff and smooth and soft but not sticky. Okay, so now I'm going to go on with this procedure, and then watch out for the next step. After cutting this into long strips, I'm going to now lay them on this tray, because I'm going to put them in the oven at 180 degrees for 3 minutes, and I'll be checking. Once you see them begin to rise up, then you turn the other side, but do not allow them to overcook. So you have to keep an eye on them. So I eyeball mine, so 3 minutes on one side and 3 minutes on the other side. So I just keep turning them. As you can see, guys, I'm just laying them in there, then I put at the oven at 180 degrees. Now that the minced beef is cold, it has cooled off, I'm going to be adding the onions, the red onions, the fresh ones. So you can see I have not cooked these. I want them to just be, fresh and crunchy. So I'm going to put those in, and then I'm going to be adding the fresh chilies, the remaining of the fresh chilies in as well. They are not cooked. But remember, I had cooked the beef with a little bit of red onions and chilies. But so now I'm putting the fresh ones, and then the last one is the spring onions, and then I'm going to mix them into a nice beautiful color of mix of meat and those herbs. So that they can await now being pocketed into the samosas. Guys, I tell you, if you try this method, it is simple, nothing much, just salt, no even oil. Okay, but if you try this, you're going to be loving your samosas. I mean, you will never want to eat another samosa. It's just simple. Well, if you have coriander, you can put coriander, but I just like my samosas very simple, honestly, just like the way I used to eat them back home. So this is my childhood samosas as I can remember. The taste of the fresh chilies, onions, and spring onions. Oh my goodness, it just brings me back to old memories at home. Remember now, guys, we have to keep our eyes on the pastry because we want to make sure that the heat is well distributed and that the pastry is well dried into like the kind of pastry that you buy, frozen, ready to roll and pocket the samosas. So we are now going to put it back in the oven. As you can see, I'm just checking the temperature, and then now we're going to put it back because we want to make sure that it rises. So when you start to see the pastry bubble, then you're going to now remove it and turn it over the other side to make sure that it is also nicely done. Excuse the thumb, the guys who was videoing had his thumb on the camera lens. So we keep checking this, guys, just to make sure, because we do not want to overcook it, neither do we want to remove it less cooked, because we do not want them to be sticky. We want them to be able to work on them precisely and work on them well without so much mess. Okay, so back in the oven again. Now I have just turned them, flipped them, and now we're back in the oven again. Now that I believe it is ready, you can see, guys, they're peeling away. It's a bit hot. Yes, now I'm able to separate these strips and they are peeling off. Just look at that, guys. Yeah, we're able to peel them off. So now we're going to be using those strips to roll the samosas. This is lovely. Just watch the next step, guys. But I'm so happy because this is the first time I've done this, and I'm happy with the results. Actually, I'm so proud of myself. I'm patting myself on the back. Yeah. Here I've just mixed flour and water to make a thick paste. So because I'm going to use this one to kind of bind the sides of the samosa. Yeah, so you just mix water and flour. Guys, in the preparations of my samosa, this was the hardest step. Folding this pastry into pockets. I kept folding and unfolding, and it was doing my head in. Actually, I thought it was going to be easy after watching one guy fold them. He made it super easy, but literally, it was not. I was struggling here, guys. Let me know in the comments below. Are you able to fold these pockets, or what is your method of folding your samosas? Let me know.